Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, July 5th. There really aren't any significant fire potential impacts expected for the next few days, as relative humidities have come up and generally wet thunderstorms have spread across much of Nevada, Utah, and up into eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. Western Idaho still remains on the dry side, however, lightning activity will be limited there over the next few days. By midweek, some drier air will begin to move into southern portions of the Great Basin. Lightning activity was located over central and northern Nevada and over much of Utah yesterday. These storms were accompanied by precipitation, and in some cases those storms were quite heavy. On this morning's water vapor imagery, we're continuing to track two major features. The first is a high-pressure ridge that's moved over the southern Rockies, allowing moisture to stream up into Utah and eastern Idaho. This is also bringing relatively cooler temperatures to the Great Basin. In some areas, those temperatures will still be above normal for the time of year, but those temperatures are much closer to normal than we've been for the last few weeks. The other feature to note is the low off the California coast. As this low begins to move inland over the next few days, it will bring drier air to the southern Great Basin, and looking forward to next weekend, it may actually bring a fair amount of precipitation to northwest Nevada and portions of western Idaho. Fire potential is fairly low across Utah, Nevada, and eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. Temperatures are back into the low 90s across much of western portions of the Great Basin, and only in the mid-80s across the valleys of Utah and eastern Idaho. Showers and thunderstorms are expected across much of the area today, except over western Idaho. On Monday, the moisture remains across much of the area for typical afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Some drier air is moving into the southern portion of the Great Basin, so we may continue to see decreased thunderstorms in that area. Temperatures will remain near seasonal normals, with those thunderstorms scattered throughout the region. More of the same is expected for Tuesday across much of the area. However, as that low moves closer to the California coast, we'll see drier air spreading further north into the southern tip of the Great Basin, and we could see some moist air moving into far western Nevada, for wet showers and thunderstorms beginning there. On Wednesday, the low begins to move inland, further drawing drier air up into the southern portion of the Great Basin and bringing a little more moisture into the northwest corner of Nevada. Thunderstorms may begin to move into the far southwest corner of Idaho. As the low slowly makes its way inland, moisture will continue to bring showers and thunderstorms to western Nevada and up into western Idaho. Right now it looks like this pattern continues with wet showers and thunderstorms continuing for Friday and even into Saturday, particularly across northwest Nevada, and making its way up into Idaho. This is a fairly unusual pattern for the time of year where we're seeing a wet signal across the north and a dry signal across the south. So we may begin to see fire danger increasing across southern portions of the Great Basin, while it will certainly be decreasing across the north. Precipitation totals through next Wednesday are expected to be fairly high across Nevada and Utah, as we've been seeing for the last few days, and western Wyoming looks to get a pretty good amount through that time period as well. Going into next weekend, Friday through Sunday, right now it looks like the bulk of the precipitation is going to be over far western Nevada and up into western and central Idaho. It looks like this could be a really favorable pattern for the central Idaho mountains. Currently, fire danger remains fairly high over western and central Idaho, where new historical records are being set over the west central Idaho mountains. Elsewhere across the region, ERCs are near normal to below normal, and in much of Nevada and southern Utah, those values are definitely on a downward trend. The extended forecast going into the middle of the month calls for above normal temperatures across much of the Great Basin, with that wet signal over the northern two-thirds of the area and a dry signal across the south and east. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.